They're going to be 3 wide already going down into turn 1. Bobby Jr. hung in the middle there.
Remember, a lot of these cars, they have had no race practice. They lost their practice last night after qualifying. A lot of them making changes, a lot of decisions made today in the garage area.
There was a lot of give and take there by Stacy Compton. 4 wide. My
Well,
goodness.
like you say, you can't wait. You got to take. You got to go. If there's a crack, you got to go through it.
Ain't
not an opening, a crack.
No race in the racetrack. You got to get to the front.
And you'll hear every one of these drivers say, there's a lot of new cars out here tonight, but every one of them will tell you, they told me not to bring it back unless it's a winner.
5th place side by side, Presley with Craven and Spencer looking in. But 5th place doesn't count. Not in this.
2nd place don't count.
Winner advances.
Winner only.
This is when there is no strategy. You got one thing to do, that's map that baby. Boogity, 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 here we go.
Ricky Craven in that 32 car working the high side. Racetrack starting to cool down, the sun's down, the night's coming on.
Johnny Benson has a 0.3 of a second lead on Ryan Newman. That doesn't look like a lot, but boy, that's a big cushion for Benson right now.
Trouble down turn 1.
Compton spins into the wall after contact with another car.
Oh, and Carl Long in that 85 car just getting by.
Caution's out. Derek Cope is on pit road. And Johnny Benson will lead Ryan Newman, Todd Bodine, Andy Houston, and Ricky Craven back to the caution.
Now, this is unfortunate for Compton, but let me tell you, for all these other drivers, it gives you a chance to catch your breath because US has been breathless on the start.
Let's see who caught Stacy Compton. Nobody.
Just got real loose.
I think
come around with him.
That's probably a product of no practice last night here. These guys had to make a lot of guesses on their chassis setups. They probably had the car way too loose.
So Stacy Compton by himself brings out the caution at lap 10 and shortens up Mark Milling's Dodge. First caution of the night. There'll be more. We'll be back.
You got that right. He spun his rear tire. I've seen that happen a couple of times.
Mike Skinner in the 31 looked like he did the same thing, Darrell.
Yeah, they come down and they get the tires cleaned up good enough, and they cause the tires spin, and the car gets almost spun that bad boy out. Fortunately, nobody got into it.
Matt?
Mike, during that caution, a lot of drivers conversing with their crew chiefs about their race cars. Pretty much everybody's saying they're tight right now. One thing to keep in mind, the ARCA race, which took place right before the Winston Open, left a different tire compound, a Hoosier tire on this racetrack. So a lot of crew chiefs are cautioning their drivers, don't worry, our car will come in. Sterling Marlin said his car is so tight, he almost hit the 93 car of Dave Blaney. He had to back out of the throttle.
3rd place, Andy Houston gets a big run, and for the lead, here comes Newman.
Well, you don't want to go in there side by side. Ooh, come on, get in front, huh? Boy, you go through there side by side, take that air off that spoiler, turn them both around.
And the Boilermaker busts through. Purdue engineering student Ryan Newman comes to the front.
Well, he's a little sprint car midget racer. He likes these 30-lappers.
Look at this pack right here. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and the rest of the field right here. 3 wide through the tri-oval.
Man, these guys there's a car up high, 2 cars up high.
Blaney
cars everywhere.
Blaney.
3 wide, run around on the back.
Buckshot Jones goes around.
Everybody else woes up, and we'll get through.
Buckshot, I believe, kept it off the wall, Larry.
Caution is out, though.
He's got some damage on the right side. Man, it's exciting, isn't it?
Oh.
Picked a bad day to give up Prozac, I know that.
Oh, my heart. Now watch him come in from the right side.
That all started, I think, because a bunch of cars, there were cars up high in that turn up next to the wall.
And you see he's got the damage right there to the front end, and that's what caused him to go around.
Yeah.
9 laps, 2 quick cautions, and we're just getting started on stock car racing. More.
Boy, Newman got a great start, and Benson didn't. Pulled Todd Bodine right up there with Newman. Todd looking to the inside, can't make the move, though.
Well, Benson will wheel down on the flat. Now he tries to regain momentum. Or rather, that's Spencer with a wheel down at the flat there, battling Benson for 3rd place.
Spencer on the flat. Spencer got a wheel mark in the side of the 10 car. Spencer's on the move. 3 wide over in the back.
Well, Darrell, that second groove up there, Johnny Benson in the 10, Ricky Craven in the 32. They're moving. You can keep your momentum. Keep them RPMs.
You got more grip up there, Larry. The car will come off that corner. It's got a little more grip up there right now.
But that restart cost Benson. He's in third place, 0.8 of a second behind the leader, Newman.
Well, that was that double foul restart that messed up Benson. He didn't get the good start. Newman did. Guys on the inside got the advantage. See it every week.
Ricky Rudd right there in that 28 car started 18th. He's all the way up to 9th. He's on the move. They were not happy with that race car yesterday. Brand new race car. Fat back is crew chief Michael McSwain. Lots of changes today. That race car, he's going by Mike Skinner, and that'll be for the 8th position.
Certainly would like to see Ricky Rudd in that 28 car in the Winston. Not anything against anybody else, but that car has such a great history here at this racetrack.
All around.
Ricky Rudd's kind of slow hand. You just don't really notice him picking his way up through the field unless we focus on it. But if the car's capable, he will get there.
Well, these races are suited to some drivers. I mean, these short sprints like this, some drivers like them better than others.
Benson underneath Todd Bodine, second place at stake.
And this is all just because he had to fight his way back from a bad restart. It's down under Todd going into one. Todd's got that outside line, got the steam up off the corner, but Benson's got the groove down low and he makes the pass.
They better get going. Jimmy Spencer in that 26 car, he's all over their rear bumper right here going off into turn 3.
Last year Spencer got up in that high line right there and he drove it right to the front, running that high line. Ooh, what's a little iron? I'd like to see you though, Jim.
But Ryan Newman is waiting for no one. He's opened his lead up to 1.6 seconds.
Well, he could win this race. This is his kind of race. Like I say, he's a sprint car, midget racer. They run these 30-lap sprints. You got to gear yourself up for this, buddy. You can't pace yourself here.
And Darrell, you talked about it earlier. He knows his way around this racetrack. He holds the track record here in an ARCA car.
In the ARCA car, so he knows the fast way around this racetrack, and he's using it right now. Go, Jeff. What do you know?
Hey, guys, one of the things you need to bear in mind now, remember, his teammate, which I guess we call Rusty Wallace a teammate or a coach, is on the pole for the Winston. He may have gotten some information from that group.
And also, Jeff, they were one of the few cars that tested out here, and they were smiling this morning. Again, no race practice last night. They said they spent 2 complete nights, and I say night, just like what we're racing, they spent it in race trim, practicing for this race.
The guys that tested here, normally, you know, testing maybe doesn't pay off, but it sure did pay off this week because they got to do a lot of night running, and these cats are on the track now didn't get to do much.
Now, these two fellas are teammates, Darrell.
Whoa, look out.
Well, they are teammates.
They have banged into each other on numerous occasions. And just remember, Jimmy Spencer never forgets.
And one of the people he was talking about was Todd Bodine.
That's exactly who he was talking about.
A lot of these cars facing handling problems. Practicing yesterday, track temperature 130 degrees. Right now it's under 100 degrees. That's one reason a lot of the cars are pushing or tight. More grip, the front ends won't turn.
Yeah, you get your car good in the afternoon here. We've seen it time and time and time again. And you're dog meat. I mean, you're howling at night.
Now Sterling Marlin trying to fight his way back. He moves underneath the 90. Marlin made a pit stop on that last caution, Dick.
Mike, and he put 4 tires on the car in that pit stop, and they also hauled the rubber out of the right rear to try to get the chassis right on it. He has won this race 3 times, but tonight he's missed the setup.
You know, in this entire field, there is only one driver I know who is not a former Saturday night short track specialist. Kyle Petty started his racing career on Daytona International Speedway in a car borrowed from his dad's shop and won the ARCA 200.
And it was the ugliest thing. It was a Dodge Magnum of all things.
Guys, the car on the move. Ricky Rudd, that 28 car, he just keeps on keeping on. Started 18th. He's passing Todd Bodine here. This is for the 4th position, 5th position.
And that car is really handling. I mean, it is right around the bottom of the racetrack. And remember, Dale Jarrett tested over here a couple of nights. I'm sure they shared information, shared notes, and it's paying off for Ricky Rudd. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Rudd underneath Todd Bodine moves up to 4th place.
I mean, he's passing guys down on the bottom with ease. He's setting them up and getting right out. But Ryan Newman, on the other hand, is out of here.
That's the reason Mike Joy and I both thought Ricky Rudd was going for 4th. Ryan Newman's so far out front, we didn't count him.
Yeah, see, from here on back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3. Now he's making the pass for 4th on Ricky Craven.
And we only got 8 laps to 30. So we're 22 laps, 8 to go.
Now, even though these guys, they pretty much know they're not going to catch Ryan Newman in 8 laps, but they want to get as far up to the front as they can before that caution flag. Matt Yoakum, what's going on with our 2nd place car?
And Mike, when Johnny Benson lost the lead to the 0-2 of Ryan Newman, he came on the radio and said, man, he has got some motor. And then a few moments ago, he said, James, to his crew chief, James Ince, I cannot do anything with the 0-2. He just has too much motor. James' response, just put as much pressure on him as you can. He's a rookie. Maybe he'll make a rookie mistake.
Well, it ain't working because he's not putting any pressure on him. And on the timesheet here, he just keeps drawing away.
Ryan Newman started at Phoenix last fall and Las Vegas this spring. He's running what they're calling the ABC plan, some ARCA races, some Busch races, NC, some Cup races.
And doing a good job in all of them. I feel like he's done awfully well in every series. He's won in ARCA. He's been very competitive in the Busch series. And this is a big step up to the Winston Cup right here.
Ricky Rudd is running faster than the leader. He's the fastest car on the racetrack right now, but he's got a long way to go and just 6 laps to get there.
Well, right now, he'd like to catch Jimmy Spencer. Yeah, that's what he'd like to do.
See, he can start up front in this 16 lapper and still get into the Winston. So that's his thoughts right now. Drive the wheels off of it, Ricky.
Because you know you're going to get a caution here in just a few laps, and you can get you 4 fresh tires for that 16-lap shootout.
Get you 4 Goodyear Eagles and go again, buddy.
5 laps to go. Newman has delivered the mail.
He has. He is just drawing away. I mean, what a run. That's somebody we're going to have to watch when he gets into the Winston, because guys have come out of this race. He's been on the racetrack. These other guys haven't been. He's going to have that experience and that knowledge about the track. Big advantage.
Look at that gap back to second place in only 20-some laps of green flag racing.
Ricky Rudd, though, he's still the fastest race car lap after lap. Over 170 miles an hour, 26 laps into this race.
And this is when you say, yo, crew chief Fatback, why couldn't you have had this car this good yesterday?
For qualifying. Now, let's explain what happens. After the flag falls at 30 laps, Mr. Newman, should he stay in this position, he will exit and prepare for the Winston. Everyone else, if they stay on track, they hold position. If they go to the pits, they go to the back for the 16-lap sprint. Second place, Rudd is there. He's got the spot going into turn 1. Okay, third place. Jeez, it's Newman's so far out in front, I'm getting so mixed up here. It's third place. Second in class, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, no!
Oh, he blew up. Look out, Ricky, don't get in the oil. Watch the oil, guys.
Caution is out.
No.
Caution's in out.
What a shame. Poor guy. 3 to go.
Oh, the sound of silence coming across the finish line.
Oh,
Ryan Newman at a 30-lap race, and it looks like he's at a 28-lap power plant.
Wow.
Man, I've seen that happen before here, but it's supposed to happen on the last lap.
He had such a lead. He still led that lap right there with a blown-up motor.
Now, if that engine's still running, because caution laps don't count, he might still win this.
Yeah, but there's something, I can't imagine that he could go back to race speed.
Well, we don't know the motor's blown up. We know something's badly broken somewhere.
Now, regardless, Ryan Newman, Johnny Benson, Ricky Rudd, Darrell, these guys, I would come to pit road now, get my 4 tires. I would do it right now.
Well, yeah, he's got fire coming out the exhaust now.
Yep, but all he's got to do is Sanford and Son it around for 1 more lap, and he wins. Uh-oh.
I don't think it's going to make it that far.
Oh.
I think that big ball of fire that came out of her, that's all she had. That's all she wrote.
Oh, man.
Dear John, that's all she wrote.
2 courses shy of his engineering. The Winston. The Winston Open completed. Johnny Benson advances. Here's Matt.
Well, Johnny Benson has pulled behind the gas pumps here. A great car, but what were you thinking when the 0-2 blew up?
I don't know. I guess having 20 horsepower more in the Ford is okay at times, but man, I got to thank Hendricks. They do have a great engine. We just can't say what the Ford's down the straightaway. James Ince, everybody on the Valvoline Pontiac did a good job. So we're second place, and he blew up, and hate to take advantage of that, but we're definitely gonna.
What adjustments are you going to make? I heard you and James talking over the radio.
Well, I mean, I think we got everybody.
Brent.
Let me tell you just one thing real quick. If I was Ricky Rudd and that car's as good as it is, I'd take no chances. I would put the thing in the garage, put the cover on it, made a mistake, cost me the race, save it for next week.
Mike Wallace on point with Robert Presley, then Jimmy Spencer and Todd Bodine. Kenny Schrader is back there with Andy Houston in the 3rd row. Mike Skinner and Casey Atwood in row 4.
Now, Mike Wallace, those guys changed 2 right side tires. Gain that track position. He wasn't going to have a chance to win this thing coming in changing 4 tires. I think it's going to be tough on 2, but heck, let's roll the dice.
Well,
it's the Winston Open.
That's a good car. It's got a Penske engine in it, and Jim Long's a good crew chief. I've seen him run good here with Jeff Bodine. I wouldn't count that man out either.
And now we race 16 laps, win or go home.
Oh, yeah, it's just the same thing all over again, but just half as amount of time. Half as much time to get it done.
And no second chances after this one. Pace car in. Let's set to go for 16 laps. Win or go home.
Mike Wallace, Robert Presley, kind of crowding each other down the front stretch coming to take the green flag. They want to give either one an advantage. Mike Skinner, the 31 car, all the way to the bottom here going into turn 1.
Presley's got the good line up off of 2 over there. He's got the momentum. Brings Todd Bodine with him.
Skinner up for 6th, and it's the outside line that's moving.
Got to be on that high side right now on these restarts.
Now will Jimmy Spencer, if he catches Todd Bodine, work with his teammate or battle him side by side. We'll see as Spencer comes around the outside of Mike Wallace off turn 4.
Tight racing back in here right behind these guys. Everybody fighting for position.
Sterling Marlin working Casey Atwood, and Ricky Rudd has passed 5 cars.
Oh, trouble down turn 1 down here, guys. Big trouble.
1 car hard in the wall. Buckshot Jones and Dave Marcus is also involved. Oh, Buckshot hit a ton.
He did. He turned that car turned dead right and went head on up into the outside retaining wall. That's a very, very, very ugly wreck.
Jason Leffler is also involved with Marcus and Buckshot Jones. Big hard hit, but he's getting set to climb out. He's put down the window net. That's a sign to safety officials that he's okay. Tries to get everything undone and out, and a sad break for Dave Marcus, the 60-year-old veteran. There's Buckshot Jones, who is all right.
Got on the Hans device.
Yep. He's out of that petty dodge.
Let me tell you, that kind of lick that he took, if he hadn't had that Hans device on, this is a violent lick. Watch this car right here. Watch him turn up the hill, and buddy, she's not slowing down. Ooh, that's a hard lick.
Looked like he got loose, Darrell, and corrected it back, and it just shot right up the hill into the outside wall.
And there's Dave Marcus with nowhere to go, and
Ricky Craven going all the way to the bottom.
Squeezes by on the inside on the apron. Another car back here spins.
Poor Marcus, if he had turned left, he would have turned right into another car, had nowhere to go.
Heavy impact. I'm so glad he had that Hans device on. No, 1 car was the other car down there.
Jason Leffler.
A big crash, but fortunately everyone okay on the 2nd of 16 laps in the Noble Sprint to set the final starting spot for the Winston.
Talk about these top 3 cars, Todd Bodine and Jimmy Spencer. His teammate Robert Yates racing engines. Robert Presley in the 2nd place, a Penske motor. Lots of power up that top 3.
About 800 horsepower and underneath the hoods of those automobiles.
Todd Bodine had a restart worthy of Ron Hornaday or Richie Evans. That was perfect. He nailed it.
He did. That's just what you need in a race like this. Really not about having the fastest car. It's about having the best restart.
Jimmy Spencer in a 26. He runs the bottom groove in 1 and 2, which is always normally the fast way around 1 and 2, but he's definitely in that high groove when they go through 3 and 4.
And he sails that thing off into the 3rd turn, man. I mean, he's going in there probably 10 car lengths further than anybody else. This time he tries to keep it down around the bottom because he's losing a lot of time up high down there in 3 and 4.
Sterling Marlin up for 6th, just passing Andy Houston.
That high line works really good when the tires go away just a little bit, but when you got fresh rubber on there, you need to try to hang it around the bottom as best you can.
Ricky Rudd still deep in the field, 16th. Tough sledding. There's Bodine, and there's the gap back to Presley, Spencer, Mike Wallace, and Mike Skinner. Skinner 31, battling Wallace for 4th, and Marlin is right there.
Mike Wallace really fighting those left side tires.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's giving up a lot of grip. That wasn't a bad call for that team. I mean, take your best shot, and that was their best shot, but it's not paying off for him.
Absolutely.
Todd is just pulling away. Looks like he's just a little bit quicker than the rest of the guys. Spencer is actually about the second quickest car on the racetrack.
Sterling Marlin to the outside of Mike Skinner.
A little bit of a love tap there. I'm here. I want the position.
Looks like Sterling and them adjusted on his car a little bit.
Whoa! They get together. And Mike Skinner saves it. Wow.
Now that was irresistible force and immovable object. Two of the hardest driving fellas in this whole garage area.
Well, that started back here off of turn 4, and Skinner retaliated ever so slightly and almost paid the price.
I think that's the reason our camera group stayed with him.
I think it might be.
Well, it got Marlin up to 5th. But Todd Bodine is 1.1 seconds out ahead of the field.
Yeah, he's got this thing pretty much in the bag. Of course, it could be a Ryan Newman thing all over at 10.
Now, watch this.
Here's what started this whole little episode.
This is down the front stretch coming off turn 4.
So thank you very much. I didn't appreciate that. And, oh, by the way, here's just a little bit of a reminder that I didn't like it.
We are very lucky we are not under caution.
Yes, we are.
Skinner's loss of momentum dropped him back to 13th while Marlin continues in 5th. But the only position here that matters is right up where the old blue light special's running. First, it's advance or go home.
Got a clean racetrack in front of him. 3 laps to go this time by.
And nobody closing.
Trouble turn 4. Is that Marlin?
It is
very slow at the top of the racetrack.
I think he probably got a tire going down.
Got one color.
Got a tire down. He couldn't get to pit road.
Probably a tire going down from the little bump together a while ago with Mike Skinner.
That would be my guess.
Could not get to pit road.
A 1.5 second lead for Todd Bodine. And a very stiff wind coming across the racetrack from turn 1 in the direction that storm is approaching.
Well, I tell you one thing, Ricky Rudd has passed more race cars in these short races than anybody else tonight. That's for sure.
He's up to 8th.
He's up to 8th place and still just picking them off when he gets to them.
You can see the flags there standing straight out. That wind is picking up. The weather is getting closer. Sterling Marlin going down the backstretch, still trying to get to pit road. Pretty much his night is over.
Yeah, he couldn't get down on account of the traffic, and by the time he could, it passed pit road entrance.
The only traffic he'll have to worry about now is out of the parking lot because Todd Bodine is a lap away from advancing into the All-Star race. Of course, we said that of Ryan Newman.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if he didn't make it back this time. Spencer looks like he's going to try to get up there and get around the 77 on the last lap.
Bragging rights. Bodine. As Marlin goes to the garage, Todd Bodine comes off turn 4.
Here comes Spencer up on the outside.
And Spencer will get second from Presley as Todd Bodine wins the No Bull Sprint. $30,000 and a transfer into the Winston.
Good for him. That team has been needing something like that, and it's good for them.
A 1-2 finish for Travis Carter with Bodine and Jimmy Spencer. Bodine won the Winston Open in 1995 and finished 17th in the Winston, his only appearance. Lots more to come on Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. You're watching the Winston on FX.
Kentucky, Michael Waltrip.
Starting 18th, the crew for the Wood Brothers, number 21, Motocraft Ford of Elliott Sadler. The gas man is Henry Benfield. Butch Moracle is the catch can man. Mike Hartman on the windshield. Tony Martin is your jack man. The front tire changer is Mike Smith. The front tire carrier, Dwayne Colvard. The rear tire changer, Jay Guarneri. The rear tire carrier, Troy Prince. Let's meet the crew chief, Pat Trison. And your driver from Emporia, Virginia, Elliott Sadler.
Starting 17th, the crew of the number 25 UAW Delphi Chevrolet of Jerry Nadeau. The gas man is Danny Robinson. The catch can man, Scott Nichols. On the windshield, Gordon Gibbs. The jack man, Tim Whalen. The front tire changer, Shane Parsnow. The front tire carrier, Steve Linyaw. Tony Hams, the rear tire changer, and the rear tire carrier, Joe Clutch. The crew chief is Tony Furr, and the driver out of Bakersfield, California, Jerry Nadeau.
Starting 16th tonight, the crew of the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated #1 Pennzoil Chevrolet Monte Carlo, driven by Steve Park. Mike Bodick is the gas man. John Farino, the catch can man. On the windshield, Eddie Naraki. Walt Smith is your jack man. Front tire changer, Kelly Kellis. Billy Sutphin is the front tire carrier. The rear tire changer is Mike Atwell. The rear tire carrier, Chad Walker. Crew chief is Paul Andrews. And your driver from East Northport, New York, Steve Park.
Starting 15th, the crew of the #8 Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Budweiser Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt Jr. The gas man is Kevin Eagle. The catch can man, David Lippert. Brian Krams on the windshield. The jack man, Jeff Clark. The front tire changer, Tony Urey Jr. His carrier, Danny Earnhardt. The rear tire changer, Steve Wolf, and his carrier, Bill Snyder. The crew chief, Tony Urey Sr., and the driver and defending winner of the Winston from last year from Kannapolis, North Carolina, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Starting 14th tonight, let's meet the crew for the #12 Mobile Ford, driven by Jeremy Mayfield. The gas man is Chris Fulsaka. The catch can man is Dave Collins. Windshield, Tim Harris. The jack man is Scott Wood. Jeffrey Baker is the front tire changer. Doug Spees carries the front tires. Rear tire changer, Jeff Fabian. Rear tire carrier, Dwayne Trammell. The crew chief is Peter Suspenzo. And the driver from Owensboro, Kentucky, Jeremy Mayfield.
Starting 13th, the crew of the #17 DeWalt Tolles Ford of Matt Kenseth. The gas man is Benji Grubbs. His catch can man, Mark DeMarco. On the windshield, Todd Millard. The jack man is Jeff Vandermoss. The front tire changer, Phil Dry. The front tire carrier, Ed Young. Dave Smith changes the rear tires, and the rear tire carrier, Brian Dunaway. The crew chief, Robbie Reiser, and the driver from Cambridge, Wisconsin, and defending winner of the Coca-Cola 600, Matt Kenseth.
Starting 12th, the crew for the #55 Square D Chevrolet of Bobby Hamilton. The gas man is Barry Price. Charlie McDonnell is the catch can man. On the windshield, Kevin White. Jerry Painter is the jack man. On the front tires, Andy Silver, the carrier. Jason Sheets, the rear tire changer. The rear tire carrier, Randy Rice. Your front tire changer and crew chief, Jimmy Elledge. And our driver from Nashville, Tennessee, Bobby Hamilton.
Starting 11th, the crew for the #88 UPS Ford of Dale Jarrett. The gas man, Steve Allen. The catch can man, Rick Coulson. The windshield, Kevin Stemperis. Barry Muse is the jack man. Your front tire changer, Mike Trower. Darren Jarley carries the front tires. Kevin Gilman's your rear tire changer. The rear tire carrier, Jeff Knight. The crew chief is Todd Parrott. The driver, the 1999 Winston Cup champion out of Hickory, North Carolina, Dale Jarrett. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with your top 10 tonight.
4 DuPont Chevrolet of Jeff Gordon. Jeff Craven is the gas man. The catch can man is Jason Burdett. Tony Gibson on the windshield. Chris Anderson is your jack man. Front tire changer, Tony Gant. Front tire carrier, Craig Currione. The rear tire changer, Shane Church. And the rear tire carrier, Steve Hart. The crew chief is Robbie Loomis. And the driver, 3-time Winston Cup champion, 2-time winner of the Winston from Vallejo, California, Jeff Gordon.
Starting ninth, the crew with the number 9 Dodge Dealers Dodge Intrepid of Bill Elliott. The gas man is Rodney Rhodes. The catch can man, Derek Jones. On the windshield, Barry Swift. The jack man, Mark Jacobs. The front tire changer is Andy Thurman. Ryan Biscaglio carries the front tires. Jim Pohlman is the rear tire changer, while Heath Cherry carries the rear tires. The crew chief is Mike Ford. And the driver, the winner of the 1986, the Winston, and 1988 Winston Cup champion out of Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill Elliott.
Starting 8 tonight, the crew of the number 6 Roush Racing Pfizer Viagra Ford of Mark Martin. The gas man is Doug Newell. The catch can man, Jonathan Davis. Chuck Good is the windshield man. On the jack, Scott Radel. Front tire changer, Robert Benfield. Mark Full is the front tire carrier. Rear tire changer, Sean Parker. Bobby Sutta on the rear tire, carrying those tires. The crew chief, Jimmy Finnig. And the driver from Batesville, Arkansas, winner of the Winston in 1998, Mark Martin.
Starting 7th, the crew with the number 5 Kellogg Chevrolet of Terry LaPonte. The gas man is Brad Pickens. His catch can man, Kelly Pryor. Darrell McDonald on the windshield. The jack man is Dave Denning. Murray Tim changes the front tires. Brad Demon is the front tire carrier. Mike Bumgardner is the rear tire changer. Jason Gay is the rear tire carrier. The crew chief is Gary Dehart. And the driver, a 2-time winner of the Winston and 2-time Winston Cup champion out of Corpus Christi, Texas, Jerry Labonte.
Starting 6th tonight, the crew for the number 99 Citgo Ford of Jeff Burton. Donnie Ratledge is the gas man. The catch can man is Bobby Christensen. On the windshield, Steve Wedvick. The jack man is Chuck White. The front tire changer, Mark Hollywood Armstrong. The front tire carrier is Mike Brill. The rear tire changer, Todd Foster. The rear tire carrier, Chip Good. Your crew chief is Frank Stoddard. And your driver from South Boston, Virginia, Jeff Burton.
Starting 5th, the crew from the number 22 Caterpillar Dodge of Ward Burton. The gas man is Tony Anderson. The catch can man, Gary Warren. On the windshield, Jimmy Rollins. Rodney Fetters is the jack man. Tony Wallace changes the front tires while Trent Bruce carries them. The rear tire carrier is Mike Brown. The crew chief and rear tire changer, Tommy Baldwin. And the driver out of South Boston, Virginia, Ward Burton.
Starting 4th tonight, let's meet the crew for the number 20 Home Depot Pontiac of Tony Stewart. Jeff Gooch Patterson is the gas man. Brian Larson, the catch can man. On the windshield, Chris Spider Gillen. The jack man is Marcus Bonacelli. On the front tire, changing it, Mike Lingerfeld. Carrying Tom Dean. The rear tire changer is Jonathan Sherman. The rear tire carrier, Jay Barry. Crew chief, Greg Zipadelli. And your driver from Rushville, Indiana, Tony Stewart.
Starting third, the crew for the number 29 GM Goodrich Chevrolet of Kevin Harvick. The gas man, Danny Chocolate Myers. The catch can man, Coy Hedrick. On the windshield, Rich Burgess. Mike Moore is your jack man. The front tires, a changer, Mike Kaluka, and his carrier, Jerry Haley. The rear tire changer, Ron Otto, his carrier, Steve Lawrence. The crew chief, Kevin Hamlin, and the driver out of Bakersfield, California, is Kevin Harvick.
Starting second tonight, let's meet the crew for the number 18 Interstate Batteries Pontiac of Bobby Labonte. Peter Gellin is the gas man. Derek Jennings, the catch can man. Ray Bolin on the windshield. Jason Lee, the jack man. Front tire changer, Jeff Chandler. Front tire carrier, Todd Meredith. The rear tire changer, Barry Cook. Alan Copley is the rear tire carrier. The crew chief is Jimmy Maycar. And the driver, defending Winston Cup champion from Corpus Christi, Texas, Bobby Labonte.
Starting on the pole, the crew of the Miller Lite Ford of Rusty Wallace. Your gas man is Doug Ingold. The catch can man, Jason Poole. On the windshield, Nick Giambruno. The jack man is Rob Jones. Your front tire changer, Bill Wilburn. Mike Goins is the carrier. Robbie Fuller changes the rear tires. The rear tire carrier, Keith Manch. And your crew chief, Robin Pemberton, the driver out of St. Louis, Missouri. He won the 1989 The Winston and went on to win the Winston Cup Championship, Rusty Wallace. And your winner from the Winston Open just a few moments ago. He drives the Valvoline Pontiac as his crew comes out in front of him. He hails out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. He'll start 20th tonight in car number 10, Johnny Benson. And starting 21st tonight in car number 66, he just transferred in by virtue of his win in the Winston No Bull Sprint. He hails out of Chemung, New York, and drives the number 66 Big Kmart Ford, along with his crew. A big hand for Todd Bodine. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the 21 stars of NASCAR that'll do battle momentarily in the 17th running of the Winston.
All right, you've met the drivers and the crews behind their cars in just
Qualifying was a pit stop and then 3 fast laps. The combined time, the total time, put Rusty Wallace's team on the pole, Bobby Labonte outside. Kevin Harvick in his first Winston. Tony Stewart starts his third. It's the 6th trip to the Winston for Ward Burton, and for younger brother Jeff, 7th time in NASCAR's All-Star tilt. Terry Labonte, 2-time winner, starts his 16th Winston. Mark Martin, the 98 winner, is in this event for the 12th time. Bill Elliott, 16th Winston. He won it in '86. Jeff Gordon, the 95 and 97 winner. Dale Jarrett, the runner-up last year, and Bobby Hamilton in his 4th All-Star event. Matt Kenseth, an All-Star rookie. Jeremy Mayfield, 5th in '99. It's his 4th try. Dale Earnhardt Jr., last year's winner with the very same car, and Steve Park in his 2nd Winston. Jerry Nadeau, 2nd time for him. He was 4th last year. Elliott Sadler, a rookie in the All-Star race. Michael Waltrip in his 9th Winston, the '96 winner. Johnny Benson in his 1st, and Todd Bodine his 2nd All-Star race. Segments 1 and 2, 30 laps each. There'll be an invert. After segment 1, that means some drivers will be inverted and start at the reverse of where they finished. And then segment 3, let it all out for 10 laps, and there's $1.2 million at stake. Fireworks in the sky for sure. Thunder and lightning. Fireworks on the track to come. We'll be right back for the start of the Winston. And fans are on their feet. Here we go for NASCAR's All-Star Race. The 17th annual running of the Winston gets the green flag. And Steve Park, boy, real loose on the start, almost spun.
Bunch of guys did. Jeff Burton got into the back of Tony Stewart and turned him sideways. Oh, car's sideways. All the cars are loose down in the corner. The track is wet. It's Gordon,
Michael Walter, Kevin
29 car. All these cars are wrecking because I believe it might be raining down there.
And the rain is coming even harder.
Oh, for Pete's sake. What a way to start this event.
For some drivers, what a way to end it.
Unbelievable.
They waved the green flag. The sky opened up. Harvick, shower of sparks up in turn 3. And now it's pretty well pouring here in Concord. There is Kevin Harvick's damaged car. Jeff Burton won't make it back to pit road. Jeff Gordon walks away.
See him wearing the Hans device.
NASCAR stock cars compete on tires that have no tread, cannot tolerate a wet track. When the green flag waved, there was a very, very light drizzle falling, but not enough to dampen the racetrack and cause loss of traction.
Well, watch these guys. Even on the start, watch them, Larry. There's a couple of them. Tony Stewart right in here. He gets run into the back of by Jeff Burton. A bunch of guys didn't get going all that well. I think they were spinning their tires.
Yeah, watch Steve Park right there in that one car. Look how loose he gets.
See Tony Stewart get all sideways there because Burton got into him, and these guys are all over the place. They get down here to the corner, and everybody starts up the hill. I mean, everybody's loose. There goes Harvick.
Rusty Wallace all but hit the wall.
Rusty was so lucky. Watch Park back here, and if he can,
right there.
See, he can't get going. He's just spinning the tires and does everything but spin out.
Yeah, we thought he spun the tires from acceleration, but obviously the racetrack was getting damp already.
I believe it must have been. I think there must have been enough moisture on the racetrack that they just couldn't get any traction.
From all-star to all-weather.
Michael has had a tough weekend here.
Nowhere for him to go.
Oh, boy. Right into the side of Jeff Gordon. That was a hard lick for Jeff and Michael.
From Bobby Hamilton.
Just gets through.
Good job on Bobby's part of avoiding it.
And centered on Jeff Gordon.
Like the back end just come around. He got into Burton. Just not enough grip down there. It looked like,
boy, what a lick right
He'd
there.
hit him hard.
Wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, hit him back here in the back. Yeah. Didn't get him in the driver's door.
Caution laps do not count.
Well, this event has never been uneventful. There's always been a controversy surrounding this event. Tonight, Mother Nature has something to do with it.
We're under caution after one lap here at the Winston. We'll be right back. Hurt the whole field. One driver figured out that if he ran last in the first segment, he'd start up front for the next one. And so then the format changed. And it's changed several times. But generally, if the fans have a voice, turn them around as best you can. And like Larry said, the big number is 12.
Yeah, drivers hate it. Fans love it.
And they did this a lot through the NASCAR.com website. It was called Pick the Pack poll. Fans voting on the website.
Well, I don't know, guys. It looks to me like it's raining harder and harder all the time. I don't see any real raindrops on Ward's windshield there. Or, no, that's Bobby Hamilton's, but you can see it in the light. We've been waiting on you. I'm glad you got home when you did.
Hope your favorite driver won the feature. Let's see how your favorite driver fares here.
And we're off and running one more time. Okay, I'm going to hold my breath. Let's see. Down into turn one.
Look at Tony Stewart in that orange number 20 car. He passed 3 cars before they even got to turn 1. He's on a mission.
Yeah, he passed those 3 cars. Basically, those are the 3 backup cars, so they're probably being a little cautious with their cars.
Single file, the front 5. Rusty Wallace, Bobby Labonte, Ward Burton lead them across.
Track's in good shape. Everybody made that first lap. Now let's get down to business. Bobby Labonte right there, right behind Rusty Wallace. And we know from coming here for a number of years, those Gibbs cars, that 18 and the 20, have got this place figured out.
And Darrell, that 18 car, that's the car that Bobby Labonte, Jimmy May car, they won the Brickyard last year at Indy, a brand new race car back in August.
We're going to complete lap 2 and stand silent to the memory of Dale Earnhardt, a 3-time winner of the Winston on lap 3. Things a little racy in that second pack. There's Jeremy Mayfield and Terry Labonte going at it.
And boy, I tell you, these engines in these cars tonight, if this was a 600-mile race, they wouldn't be sounding. These things are turning 9,200 RPM, and they're producing maximum horsepower, and they got a buzz to them like I've never heard. We'll give you a crank it up here in a little while, and you'll see what I'm talking about. These things are humming, boys.
Tony Stewart gained a few spots, and now he backs up a couple. Todd Bodine going by him.
Well, you remember they were a little worried about the engine in that car, so it'd take a few laps for that to show up if there was a problem.
Boy, the track is cool. The times are fast. These cars are getting it around this 1.5-mile racetrack.
Yeah, 30:49. That's pretty fast time compared to what they've been running.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., defending champion of the Winston.
It's a battle for 9th.
Clear, clear.
Carrying the colors of the baseball all-star game, which you'll see in July on Fox. Ward Burton looking for second place from Bobby Labonte.
Bobby's car is really fast right through the center of the corner, right on the bottom of the track. He really gets back to the throttle in a hurry. Rusty's car is really fast down the straightaway.
Steve Park in 1 car, Bobby Hamilton in the 55 car. That's a battle for 7th place.
I tell you, that 2 car has got some steam under the hood. He pulls them down that straightaway. Really stretches out down here at the end.
Leave Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 car. He's faster than these race cars right here. He's trying to figure out where these guys are going to go. Look at his car go through right to the bottom of the racetrack, turn 4.
It's the same car he won the race here with last year. Probably got the same setup in it because last year these guys were not always on bump rubbers. So I got a feeling he's got a very similar setup that he won with here last year.
Trying to follow his teammate Steve Park through on the low side, but he's got a mirror full of Dale Jarrett.
And you know, we would believe, or we were led to believe, that Jarrett would probably be pretty good because of the testing that they did over here last week. Same conditions, cool night. He was real happy with his race car.
You're riding with Earnhardt Jr., trying to work underneath Bobby Hamilton. You see Steve Park up ahead. He has cleared Hamilton.
Boy, Hamilton really drove his car down into turn 1 hard.
5-car breakaway at the front. Wallace, Bobby Labonte, Ward Burton with Mark Martin and Mayfield.
Here comes that 18 car.
Looking for the lead.
He's looking.
Right there, though, that's where Rusty's so strong. Tail into that straightaway right there.
I think he does. He's got some straightaway speed. Bobby's good right through the center of the corner right here.
He's going to pull Ward Burton in that 22 car with him. Let's see what happens down the back straightaway.
Rusty's going to take it up on the high side and see if he can hold Bobby off.
Ward's going to go up there with him.
I tell you, when you can run the high line, you get a lot better run up off the corner.
Good grip up there, and you keep that momentum up to get down that straightaway.
And, of course, here comes everybody with Rusty. They went to the high side with Rusty. Ward Burton came right around.
10 of 30 laps in this first segment complete.
Whoa, now that 22 car, Ward Burton, he is coming off that corner. He got some gear in that thing.
One of 2 Dodges in our field. Of course, Bill Elliott's other Dodge.
Well, look at Ward right there. Man, he really gasses it up hard. He's alongside of Rusty. I believe he's got the steam to take him.
If he can get into turn 1 ahead of Rusty.
He's going to take the position. Bobby Labonte back to the bottom here. He wants it too.
Man, they're close right there. Once Rusty lost the lead, I think he's going to be a little bit easier to deal with. He'll let Bobby Labonte go now. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, one of the things I'm sitting here watching, Darrell, lap times. The 24 and the 99 are on the move. You notice right now, Jeff Burton's already up to 14th. He just passed Tony Stewart on the outside coming off of 4. His car looks extremely strong.
Well, these other backup cars aren't performing quite that well, but those guys, they seem to be the best prepared to put the backup cars into the race.
See Todd Bodine in that 66 car. Remember, he was the last car to get into Winston, started dead last, 21st.
Yeah, and he has the advantage of running that 46 laps that he got to run earlier on this racetrack. Of course, I know it's rain, but still the conditions are a lot better, and he had a chance to adjust on his car.
Had time, yeah, to make adjustments, exactly.
Always we see the guys that come out of the open into this race, they always run good. They're always very competitive because of that advantage they've had of being on the racetrack.
Tony Stewart chasing Jeff Burton. Burton in a backup car with an engine change.
You know, I believe Tony Stewart, because of having to go to the rear of the field, I believe he's just going to ride this first 30 laps out. Wouldn't surprise me to see him finish somewhere around 12.
12th might be a good
I think that'd be a good place for him to finish.
But you don't want to finish 13th because we know the maximum cars they'll invert for that second 30 lapper will be 12. Jeff Gordon, he's still on the move. And that 24 car goes below Bill Elliott. And that 9 car, Bill Elliott, one of the teams that tested out here, brand new race car for Bill Elliott in that Ray Evernham car.
Stewart looking over Gordon, moving to the outside.
We see so many times that 20 car, Tony Stewart, he's not very good on the restarts. He's always kind of falls back.
Ooh, contact, and one car slides up the hill. I think that was Burton.
Ooh, it was.
Jeff Burton.
And the 29 car's on pit lane, y'all.
Trouble for Harvick. Curfew?
Could be. So. He's just pulled down there and stopped.
See a lot of smoke like coming out from the brakes or something, like possibly the brakes were locking up. Jeff Hammond.
Just noticing the car, Larry, when he come down pit road, I couldn't tell if he had like an oil line loose or something. A lot of smoke was coming out from underneath the engine area or the front brake area. He's got some kind of problem on the car.
The way the car just came to a stop on pit lane right there, I believe the brakes have locked up on it.
Yeah, you see the Pennzoil car out there crew trying to push the car. It won't even move.
No, that's what it is.
See that smoke from the right rear wheel, as if a wheel cylinder wouldn't let the fluid release back.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of smoke coming out from the car. I think they got a brake problem. That's one of the fallacies of a backup car. Sometimes they're just the little things like that will drive you crazy.
But boy, those flames, they're headed to the front. They just keep picking cars off. Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he's up to 14th position.
Yeah, you know, and he said that wasn't as good an engine as he had in his primary car, but he thought it would be all right.
12th, we think, is the bubble spot. That's where Jerry Nadeau sits right now. So if they invert 12 cars after these first 30 laps, it would be Nadeau who would start the next segment from the pole.
Boy, these guys right here are mixing it up. Woo. Oh, whoa. Boy, Junior got really loose. He drove that thing down on the outside, got really loose.
Inside, 3 wide, back to 2 wide.
Chased it up the hill and lost a lot of positions there, lost a lot of momentum.
Ty Norris, his spotter, telling him when he can get back in line here, lost a couple of positions.
Clear, clear.
That's what I like about those young guys like Dale Jr. They can just gather it up and just take right on back off. I mean, me, it took a lap or two for me to get my nerves settled back down.
Not only is this the first time that a Dodge has led the Winston, it's the first time a Dodge has been in the Winston.
Boy, and I tell you, he's doing it handsomely, too.
He has a 0.67 second lead right now.
Jeff?
Now, with about 10 to go, guys, let's start thinking about if you're about 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Where do you want to wind up? How do you want to wind up being as far as this position is concerned? Because, you know, if you get too far back and they pick 8th, you're going to be in trouble. If you get too far forward, you're going to be back too far again. What about race strategy right now, Larry? What do you think? If you're running 8th or 9th, where do you want to wind up?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have a problem finishing 8th or 9th. Remember, double file restart. I think we've got a caution on the speedway here at lap 20.
And that is because Kevin Harvick's car will not move. They're afraid that if a car spun off turn 4, it could slide into Harvick or the crew members attending that car. Matt?
We caught up with Kevin Harvick. You're smiling still. What happened to the 29 car?
Well, I think the brakes are locked up now. So, I mean, when it's not your night, it's not your night. So, you know, at least we didn't crash that car. And America Online, Goodwin's car, I mean, everything was not going our way today. So, hopefully this get it all out of the way for the weekend. We'll run good at Nazareth, maybe win us a race tomorrow, and come back and run good here next weekend. But when it's not your night, it's just not your night. But we'll be all right.
Now you can head on out to Nazareth, Mike.
And you'll see that race on FX tomorrow. The NASCAR Busch Series. Bobby Labonte bringing them down.
Got to be careful on these restarts because they've been spinning the tires quite a bit tonight.
Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, his guys picked him up spots on pit road, changed 4 tires, made adjustments. He's restarting in 10th place.
He's up on the outside there.
Oh, Mark Martin is a rocket off turn 2, but he's got a lift for Rusty. No room to get under him. Couldn't get around him.
Boy, these double file restarts like this are really making these restarts interesting. Bobby Labonte learned that move going around on the outside off of Rusty.
Jeff Gordon, he's already moved past Dale Jarrett in that 88 car. He's moved up to 8th position just after 1 lap here after the restart.
And he looks like he's just really sitting there waiting for an opportunity to pounce. Here he comes. He's going to get another one down the back. These boys better be glad he didn't get that good motor in that car.
A lot of shuffling in that pack as 3 cars try to run off the line.
Tony Stewart just I'm not so sure he didn't glance off the wall off turn 4 there. When you got 4 fresh tires on and there's Todd Bodine right there who's holding up Jeff Gordon, tried to go on the outside. Bobby Hamilton is there. Now he's got to go back to the inside.
That's easy to do, especially with fresh tires.
Oh yeah, you can do a lot of maneuvering. That's what those tires will give you, is that ability to move around.
Only 3 times in 16 years has the driver who won the first segment gone on to win the Winston.
Well, I know Jeff Gordon did it once.
Yes, we've established that.
Yes.
Rusty Wallace in 89 and Davey Allison in 92 were the others.
89. Did you say 89?
Oh, I'm afraid I did.
That brings up a bad memory. I had the baddest hot rod here that day till the last lap.
Well, I'm seeing some smoke out of that 55 car, Bobby Hamilton, right here in front of those guys.
Well, he's hanging tough on the outside, I can tell you that. He's yeah, you see it, a lot of smoke.
Yeah, see the smoke coming out the back.
A lot of smoke that time. Yes, sir, he's got a little oil leak there, and it's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Getting worse.
Smoking, baby, smoking.
It's smoking, and it ain't the kind you want to hear about either.
And his number goes up on the black flag board.
Baby, she's smoking.
And caution is out. The fear is that Hamilton's putting fluid down on the racetrack, and we are under yellow.
Boy, I tell you, that thing just all of a sudden.
We've completed 24 laps. Remember, once the caution comes out, it will not count the caution flap.
He just said he thinks she's done, boys.
It's definitely getting worse.
That's what he's doing is cooking it. Yeah, get it down off the track, Bobby. That's a good move.
Well, he pulled down there right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr., so whatever is in that cloud is now on Junior's windshield.
More than likely, but so much smoke, I don't think that.
Junior's windshield
doesn't look bad.
Pretty clear.
Looks okay.
Well, good.
It's a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Hey, Junior, how you doing there, bud? I need my radio. I need to be able to talk to him.
I like the stitching along the rocker panel there, Darrell. The baseball stitching. That's pretty cool.
It looks good. Got him all stitched up.
All-Star race, baseball all-star game. You'll see that on Fox in July.
Pretty good looking hot rod.
Jeff?
Just looking at that car when it comes around the racetrack, it reminds me of a valve cover possibly leaking going down on the header without not putting out any more oil than what it is as far as Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s windshield and the oil down on the racetrack. It just makes me wonder maybe he's got a valve cover leaking.
Once again, all the cars at the rear of the field, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bill Elliott, Jerry Nadeau, Michael Waltrip, of course, along with anybody in front of him right here with 6 laps to go.
Kind of boxed right now, though. There's Jarrett on the outside and Hart right there in front of him. He can clear Jarrett and get up on the outside. Make a run down the back here. He's got a little room.
3 and 4, that second groove, it's fast.
Yeah,
it's a lot faster than the bottom of the racetrack.
It's not used so much. See, when it's that bottom groove is used all the time. Here he goes, upside of Rusty again. And folks, just remember one thing. That is a backup car.
Right.
So are the cars that they haul around, are they just in there for show, or are they really good cars? I believe this tells you they're really good cars.
Now on this restart, it was the outside line that went. Bobby Labonte is our leader, and Jeremy Mayfield, who restarted 12th, is now second. Ward Burton, who was our leader, is third. Oops, fourth. Todd Bodine goes by.
And I tell you, Ward had such an awesome car, but because of the restart and getting pinned down on the inside, he lost a bunch of track position.
Boy, look at him all the way to the bottom of the racetrack down there in 3 and 4. His car is so fast through the center of the corner. We come around here, we're going to have 3 laps to go to end this 30-lap segment.
Who's running 12th?
Right now, Johnny Benson. Twelfth could be the lucky number. If they invert the maximum number of drivers, that would be 12.
Who's 8th?
Tony Stewart.
That's the number, 8.
Well, going to be 12th.
No, remember we argued about this today already once. I told you it was going to be 8.
We don't never argue. We just discuss.
Mayfield to the lead.
We disagreed about this earlier today. You said 12. I said, well, maybe 12, but I think 8.
Speaking of 12, Jeremy Mayfield, 2 laps to go. Be white flag next time to end this 30-lap segment.
Johnny Benson's been in the right spot all night. He was in the right spot when Ryan Newman blew up. That got him in the big show. He's going to be in the right spot and start on the pole in this next segment.
But you know, the Penske engines, the Penske cars, Newman in that open race, Rusty on the pole, Jeremy Mayfield, these cars have got some incredible straightaway speed.
Bobby Labonte, he's lost 2, 3. Looks like he's going to lose more positions. I believe he's got a problem.
No. He's looking for 12.
He's looking for 12.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well, he falls back behind Jarrett at 8th. Matt, is there a problem?
Well, Mike, he's just talking on the radio about he's trying to find about the 11th or 12th position. I really don't know why he'd want to do that. Do you?
He better hurry up and count fast.
Well, there he is. Terry Labonte is now 12th.
You better pick it back up.
Oh, Terry, that would be his brother. Well, what do? Do you dust your brother?
Yeah, he's losing more positions as well.
He's got something wrong.
Yeah.
He's got something wrong.
Yeah, but we had a better story.
Oh, I like the story. I thought it played real well.
Now the caution's out. That ends the 30-lap segment. Coming to it.
Boy, be interested to see what Bobby Labonte has to say about his car. We'll get 3 of our best men right on it.
So Jeremy Mayfield banks, what, $50,000 for winning the first segment.
50. Where'd he come from?
4th on the restart, right behind Bobby Labonte.
Just got a heck of a jump. Got a heck of a jump.
And Elliott Sadler, he finished in the 12th position for that segment. So it'll be interesting to see how many cars we're going to invert.
My money's on 12.
Bobby Labonte finished 13th in that segment.
Now
so he will reach
Benson and Martin, Park and Stewart. Back at row 4. Jarrett and Wallace, Gordon and Bodine, Ward Burton and Mayfield, Bobby Labonte and Jeff Burton, row 7. Earnhardt Jr., the defending winner with Hamilton, Kenseth Nadeau, Waltrip Elliott, and Harvick is back on the track.
He's no longer off. He is back on.
Just thought I'd help him out with that graphic.
And I mean, the ambient temperature keeps cooling down. The track temperature keeps cooling down. You heard where Jeff Gordon, his group, they put more tape on the grill. Car likes that here at Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Faster down that straightaway, more downforce, turns better through those corners. We're going racing 30 more laps.
12:30 in the morning, and I don't see an empty seat in this front grandstand.
I tell you, nobody's left.
How about that?
Not if so. Stay here through the rain and all. And here we go.
Sadler got a much better restart than did Terry Labonte up on the front row, so Sadler and Benson haul him into turn 1.
All right, boys, this 30 laps counts. Where you finish in this one's where you're going to start in the last one, and the last one is the one that pays the big bucks.
8 of the last 9 years. Drivers have started in the front 4 on this restart.
Boy, Gordon's fast up on the outside. And man, ooh, the one car got real loose off of 4 that time. Really bottlenecked everything up. Boy, they're going around him left and right. Clear. Hold your line.
A couple of fast cars from that first segment. After the 12-car inversion, trying to work their way back up front. What a knot of traffic.
Man, Gordon just blew right by Mark Martin going down in the corner. Watch this. Cuts to the inside under Terry Labonte. I thought he was going to pass Labonte and Stewart both in the same move.
Stewart will buy all of these guys on the high side.
Wow. Gordo's hooked up and going on. And Mark Martin didn't.
But talk about hooked up. How about that 21 in that 10 car? They pulled out almost to a 2-second lead over this group while they've been slicing and dicing.
The 10 car, we know he's good. We saw him run in the open. Cars that have come out of the open have just, I know I said earlier, but they always run well.
Benson hunting the lead in turn 1, has the room, has the lead.
Now, Sadler didn't put up much of a fight. Benson had position. They got a good lead here on these other guys, kind of working together there to kind of hold on to that big lead they got.
Johnny Benson trying to become only the 2nd driver in this race of 17 years to win the Open and go on to win the Winston.
That team has just performed so well all year long, always at the front, week in and week out.
Yeah, but watch out for these 2 fellas coming. There's Stewart and Gordon.
Of course, Tony Stewart had to go to the rear of the field at the start of the race after coming back on the pit road to put his radio antenna on. Jeff Gordon, again, in a backup car. A backup car.
Yeah.
Now behind them looms the big brown car. Dale Jarrett.
And that's Humpy Wheeler's pick. Humpy said he's the man that's going to take home all the money, and he hadn't missed one yet. Or at least that's what he said. I can't really verify that. Jeff can. He keeps up with stuff like that a lot better than I do.
Hey, Darrell, just to let you know, Humpy's picked 9 out of the last 13.
Okay, bud, I knew you'd have the number.
Kevin Harvick, he run about 6 laps behind this pack, and he's come back to pit road. I don't know if they're going to make more adjustments, do a little more testing.
I'd say he's going to park it.
They definitely want to make sure they had that brake problem fixed.
I think that's probably the whole thing. What was that all about? Boy, Benson is just driving off into the sunset. Or moonset.
Sunset?
Moon. Sunrise.
Moon glow.
Sunrise. He's driving off into the sunrise.
He will soon.
What's his lap times look like, Larry? You pretty quick? Well, he's
30.68.
Gordon and Stewart are just a teeny bit quicker.
They're in the 30.40s right now.
Stewart closing fast on Elliott Sadler for 2nd place.
He's about a half a second quicker than Elliott Sadler right now.
Will tonight be the night the glass slipper fits for Johnny Benson?
Boy, his car looks awfully good right now. And he seems to be pulling away just a little bit. Stewart and Gordon have both got to get by the 21 car yet.
And have we heard the last from Rusty Wallace, our pole sitter?
He's fighting Todd Bodine here. This is for the 7th position. Ward Burton, another fast race car in that 22 car right behind Rusty.
Rusty made some changes to his car on that stop, took some spring rubbers out. I think he's tightened his car up too much. Looks like it pushes up in the middle of the corner a little bit.
Tony Stewart to the bottom of the racetrack, 2nd place. Jeff Gordon all the way at the bottom, below the white line on the exit of the corner right here. That race car is working good, especially center off the corner.
It really is. I'd hate to see how good it run if they had the good engine in it.
Wallace underneath Bodine completes the pass.
And watch him go down that straightaway.
Outside, still outside, clear outside.
That's 7th place. Ward Burton trying to follow him through.
Now, guys, we've completed 10 laps in this segment. What's important about that, what you got to get from your driver is how is that car for those 10 laps? Because that's what we want to base that last 10-lap sprint race on, what it was like for 10 laps.
Yeah, and what changes he thinks he might want to make.
And remember, no break. It's like a caution comes out. You can lose position on pit road. You can lose position by pitting. It's like a normal caution coming out with 10 laps to go.
Well, Todd Bodine has got Ward Burton all over him. And Bobby Labonte right there with him.
And then Mayfield, who suffered most from the inversion, going from 1st to 12th after the first segment. Oh, little puff of smoke there from Mayfield going into turn 1.
These guys are almost 6 seconds behind Johnny Benson, the leader. That's a lot of ground to make up.
It's going to be Stewart and Gordon are going to catch Benson right at the end of this run.
There's the gap, and Tony Stewart fastest on that last lap.
They're just a little wee bit quicker than he is.
They're running 30-70s. Johnny Benson, the leader, is running 31 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Here comes Jarrett after Sadler.
They're going to chase him down. It's going to come down to look to me like Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett.
And probably the pit crews on pit road before that final 10 laps.
Exactly what they decide to do there.
Daryl, Larry, do you think anybody was watching that Winston Open and seeing what happened with the 28 car and the 32 car? If pit strategy is going to come into play, do you come to pit road with 30 laps on your tires or not?
I took a poll of the crew chiefs this morning, and like a lot of them told me, yeah, it's a harder tire. We know track position has meant a lot, but their comment was, Larry, Charlotte is still Charlotte. Give me 4 fresh tires where I can maneuver that race car.
That's right. Give me the grip. But let me tell you, if you're middle of the pack, some of those guys in there, they're going to stay out. When these front cars come in, some of the guys are going to stay out, and that's going to muddy up the water a lot.
Roll the dice. Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Might catch a couple of cautions and hang on.
Now, Johnny Benson's dropped off to about 31 seconds flat, so his lap times have dropped about 4/10 of a second, but so have Stewart's and Gordon's. Nonetheless, they are a little bit quicker than Benson every lap, about a 1/10 or 2.
And that's another thing the crew chief's going to watch. They've been watching the same monitor we've been watching. They've seen some 30-40s. Now they're seeing 30-90s, 31 flat. That's over half a second give up.
Oh boy, Dale Jr. just about lost it off turn 4 then. If everybody stayed on the racetrack, then everything would be fine. But the problem is going to be is some are going to want to stay out and some aren't.
That's the great thing about this sport.
Earnhardt Jr., is the defending champion of this race, has dropped to the tail end of the pack.
Yeah, his car is really, really bad. He's jumping plumb sideways off turn 4.
Johnny Benson finds that orange dot in his mirror growing larger.
They're closing in.
Lead is down to 0.6 seconds.
They're about 2/10 of a lap faster than Benson.
Starting to get a little sniff off of him now. They'll get a little draft down the back straightaway, and that'll let them close up even quicker.
That glass slipper is getting a little tight.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad that I'm sure Stewart and his crowd are glad that they didn't try to change that engine.
Tony Stewart's car, look, left side tires all the way against that white line, really all the way up. Look at the run he got on Johnny Benson off turn 2.
That's just getting in the throttle and staying in it. That's all that is holding it wide open up off the corner, not having to pedal it. And here he comes on the outside. He's got to run. Benson knows he's there, gives him room, doesn't try to fight with him.
And Tony Stewart takes the lead.
Jeff Gordon, he's going to watch what goes on here all the way to the bottom of the racetrack through turn 1 and 2.
If there's a difference in Gordon and Stewart's cars, it's that Stewart's cars is a little bit faster down the straightaway than Jeff's is.
Now, Stewart had opened up a little bit of an advantage on Gordon just before they caught Benson.
Look at the run Jeff Gordon got. Went to the high side in 3 and 4. Just blows by Johnny Benson for second place. We've got 12 laps to go. 11 laps to go.
Dale Jarrett's lingering right back here in 4th place, and he too is closing up on these front 3.
The leader at 60 laps gets 50 grand. Second's worth 15, and third is what they call lunch money, $7,500.
That's about it.
It's just a little walk around money is all that is.
10 laps to go this time by.
There's Jarrett's interval to the leader, and it is dwindling. He is gaining slightly.
Lost a little bit there in the center of the corner. Let's see what happens if they come down the backstretch here.
Nonetheless, he's going to start up front in the shootout in the 10-lap money run, and that's a good place to be. Got to be in the first 4 or 5 spots to be able to have a chance to win.
Right there for you.
Now at the line, last time Jarrett 2.22 seconds back.
Todd Parrott asked him if it was good right there for him. I heard no response, but
Todd Parrott needing that, all the crew chiefs needing that information. They got to be thinking about the adjustments, strategy in these next 8 laps when that caution comes back out.
Tony Stewart's got to be thinking about Jeff Gordon right now, because Jeff looks to me like he's just lurking, just sitting there lurking right behind him.
Right now, lap time wise, both these cars pretty equal, right about 31:20.
Well, one thing I saw just then off of turn 2 over there with Gordon and Stewart, looked like when Jeff got up tight on Tony, his car took off, like it lost the front end.
And that's not unusual. You get up behind the car, you lose your front downforce on the arrow, and the car won't turn.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do in these short runs is keep the fenders tucked in as tight as they can, get as much speed out of the car as they can, but then in traffic, that will hurt the front grip.
Yeah, he's been keeping a little distance on Tony.
They got up right on him over off of 2 a while ago, and boy, all of a sudden it looked like he just took off with him.
Last time Tony Stewart was about 1/10 and a half quicker than Jeff Gordon, but that's on the lap that Jeff seemed like he lost a lot of ground over.
He lost a lot of time over there. He runs really well when he runs up the middle of 3 and 4 down here. Seems to gain a little bit.
Now, Darrell, if you're Tony Stewart and you take the caution flag at lap 60, do you want tires?
Man, don't ask me that question. I don't know. I want tires. Yeah, I definitely want tires. But I don't want to be the only dummy that comes in and gets them either.
Okay.
I guess it's just up to the crew chiefs.
Oh, thanks. We're in this deal together, remember?
It's a team sport until there's a decision to be made.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 5 laps to go in this second segment.
Whatever he wants to do, I'm not going to argue with him.
Nope.
Then after the race, I might say, what'd you do that for?
Now there's Mayfield, the number 12. He restarted 12th and is just in front of the car that restarted first, Elliott Sadler. So we've had an inversion of sorts again.
Yeah. I saw just a little bit of smoke, I thought, come out of that 12 car as he got back in the throttle back in turn 1 and 2.
I think we've seen that a couple of times.
Ryan Newman's motor.
Yeah.
His teammate, unfortunately. But that was a lot of smoke.
I think they got those engines in those Penske cars set up pretty loose tonight.
Ward Burton, Bobby Labonte there. Now Stewart, Bobby Labonte's teammate, with a 0.6 of a second lead on Gordon. And look, they're 2.8 seconds up on Benson. Jarrett just half a second behind Johnny in closing.
If I was Dale Jarrett, I would want to restart in 3rd spot. It's a really good place to restart. You'll be on the inside. Might get a real good run off of 2. Take the lead down the back straightaway and never look back.
3 to go in the second segment of the Winston on Stock Car Racing's all-star, all-night affair.
Oh, this is just, all we're doing is just building a little drama, folks. The 10 laps. That's what you want to watch.
And that's why this grandstand is still completely
Nobody's
full.
left, and Jeff knows that for a fact. Right, Jeff?
You're right. but I think you're wrong. And the reason I say this, I believe watching the way things are going right now, Jeff Gordon may have a better shot on the outside there on these restarts. The restarts have been with a guy on the outside, I think, has actually gone quicker on the restarts. So in Dale Jarrett's case, he may be better off starting on the outside if provided everybody gets on off pit road, because we haven't factored in the pit stops. You got to factor in those pit stops. You come down pit road, you may not get back out in second. You may get out first.
What about two tires? I didn't heard anybody say anything about two tires.
Well, now the times have really dropped off, Darrell. 31:40s for leader Tony Stewart, 31:50s and higher for the rest of these cars.
But this is 30 laps. All they've got to run is 10 laps, a third of that amount. So that could be a difference in their strategy. But right now, the crew chief, regardless of what they're going to do, he's running around. We talked about pit crews all weekend. He's telling guys, this is the one that counts. This is what we got to do right here.
And we saw Rusty Wallace's guys, no fuel, put 4 tires on in 13 seconds.
That's right.
So
if I'm going to come,
I got to get 4. I'm going to come, yeah.
60 laps. And Tony Stewart will bank $50,000 as the leader at 60 laps.
I don't believe you got to come in and get tires. If somebody stays out, all they're going to be is a high-speed roadblock. That's all they're going to be.
Jarrett and Benson battling.
Whoa, Benson. Oh, man, he ran up the hill underneath the Jarrett. Whoa. Went in there on the bottom, Jarrett on the outside, and then Benson's car just sucked up almost into the side of Dale Jarrett. Okay, boys. Place your bets.
I'm not stopping.
Place your bets.
Which is why I'm an announcer and not a driver.
You're not stopping?
But I'm not stopping.
I think that what's going to make the big difference here is a bunch of guys in the front have got to stop. That's going to let a bunch of guys in the back say, I'm going to stay out or take 2 tires. What do you find out, Matt?
Burton brings them down, and we're back under green for 10 laps.
And guess who's going to take the lead coming off turn 2? More than likely.
Look at the run there. Jeff Gordon on the high side. Dale Jarrett wanted to go up there. Jeff Gordon shut the door on him here off turn 2.
I tell you what, that was some good driving on both their parts, because Gordo closed the door on him. And man, he sailed it off in there. Woohoo! And then he sailed her off in there and got back in her. And here he comes. Boogity, boogity up on the outside.
Show me the money.
Adios. My old backup car is a lot better than anybody else's regular old car. There he is, folks.
Well, for 1 lap, but how about for 10 laps?
It's a done deal. Everybody else is racing for $60,000.
Right now, everybody pretty much single file. There'll be 8 laps to go next time by.
That guy, I tell you what, the Winston Million, he's won it 5 times. Every time there's big bucks at stake, he rises to the top.
Well, there's nothing second-rate about that backup car.
No, sir. It's a mighty fine backup car.
But you had to believe, most all these race teams, the car on the top of their truck, it's just as good as what they got out there on the racetrack to start with.
If you intend to win the Winston Cup Championship, you better come prepared with more than 1 car every week.
This may not be over. Here comes Jarrett underneath Ward Burton for second.
Ward's hanging tough with those 2 right side tires.
That's Tony Stewart, though, in that 20 car.
That's where you give up the right side. The 2 tires can't hang with 4 tires when they get under you like that.
You just can't maneuver as good.
Just don't have the grip. Jarrett's going to make a race out of it.
Stewart for 3rd.
What's the lap times look like?
50s and 60s.
Bobby Labonte, that 18 car, he may not be happy with his motor, but he's a fast race car right now. He's going to take the 4th position away from Ward Burton.
Boy, he is. And those Gibbs cars, I tell you what, when it comes to running this racetrack, they know something.
There's a guy we hadn't said much about, Jerry Nadeau, in that 25 car. He's moving up into the 5th position.
Boy, he is, and he's back in the throttle and coming hard.
Last lap, the gap 1st to 2nd, 0.67 seconds to Jarrett. This time, the same.
They're running the same lap speed. Yeah, 30-55. We're halfway through this segment.
This is reminiscent of Jeff leading this race a few years ago and ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go. Mark Martin ended up winning the race.
Check the interval this time. It was 0.67. Hasn't changed much.
Not much at all.
Not with just 4 laps to go. Jarrett's the fastest car on the racetrack, but Gordon's lead might just be insurmountable.
Well, he's got to get to him.
3 to go when you get back.
And getting to him and passing him, as we've seen time and time again, is so difficult. Boy, back here in the back.
They're 3 wide, 4 wide back there.
Jeff Burton went in the corner. And next thing you know, he had cars all around him.
You know, Mayfield's done a good job of moving up. He's up to 12th place from restarting dead last.
20th.
That skirmish continues.
Rusty Wallace in the 2 car, he had to restart back there as well. He's not moved up as fast or as far as his teammate.
2 to go, and Jarrett's closing a little bit.
Lap times almost still mirroring each other and holding it about 0.6 of a second.
So tonight, all the fireworks were in the sky and on the first lap, when often in this event it's the last lap that produces the fireworks.
Actually got strung out pretty quickly here in this 10-lap shootout, and not as much action as we might have anticipated. Gordo's off turn 2 over there. No way that Jarrett's going to catch him.
Jeff Gordon trying to become the second 3-time winner of the Winston, joining Dale Earnhardt in leading the league in that category. 95 when he led all 3 segments, 97 and 2001. Jeff Gordon is again a champion of NASCAR's All-Star Night.
And he told us, wouldn't it be a story? And we got our story, well, that's for sure.
And you know what? Dale Jarrett sat in his car there when it was raining and said he thought it was a good idea to let those guys get their backup cars out. I'll be interested to see if he still feels that way or not.
I think he will, Darrell. This is a show for the fans. They got a good show out of it. They certainly waited patiently enough to see it.
But it's